Shocking IIP data. Here's an exclusive reaction coming in from TCA Anant, the Chief Statistician of India on IIP, defending the credibility of the data.
Thank you for talking. Now, sir, my first question to you is this IIP number for March has come as a shocker to the market. There has been a lot of volatility as compared to February. What is the reason for that volatility, and do you think it's a reflection of the real slowdown in the economy?
Okay. You see, let me, first of all, the numbers are in front of you. The March number reflects that if you look at year-on-year growth, the figure for March is 3.5% lower than the figure for corresponding March. But now let me turn to your question and ask, how does one read IIP numbers? First point I would make is it's very difficult to read IIP numbers on a month-to-month basis. In what is better to be done is if you look at them as revealing trends over a period of time. Now, if you look at it from that point, it is clear now for the last 4 to 5 months, and in that sense the IIP number is has been revealing a consistent pattern that our growth dynamics have slowed down, and there is a broad sense of concern over the level of growth. Now, when the underlying growth dynamics slow down, if there is volatility present, which in production data will happen, and I have explained this at various points in the past vis-a-vis the way IIP is constructed, in an underlying slow growth phase, volatility becomes more apparent. So that is likely to happen. What has specifically happened in the month of March is typically we see a very high number for the index in the month of March, reflecting a seasonal year-end factor which has taken place. So to some extent the negative growth rate is a reflection of this year-end characteristic. The year-end figure, if you look at the figure from February to figure in March, there is a significant rise between February and March, but the rise is not as much as the rise seen last year, so the growth rate has turned out to be negative. There are some other specific elements which do come into IIP construction, which I have commented about in the past, because it is last year's index with a fixed collection of entities. Entity-specific factors sometimes do play a role in the indices as they come out, and this is particularly true in capital goods. This time also, the capital growth rate is driven by a large extent by a few entities or a few products reflecting very sharply negative growth. That's why in our press note we highlight those, because the sophisticated user can take all of those into account in making their judgment. But even if you did all of that, I think the picture of slowing growth does seem to come out from the data.
So two very important sectors, manufacturing and capital goods, as you just mentioned, have seen a down. I mean, last month they saw robust growth, but they have been seeing quite a bit of dragging as far as the IIP numbers are concerned. Is that a concern for you, that these sectors are not really performing as much as they should be?
See, again, I'm not going to go on saying that last month they were doing well, this month they're doing badly. I don't think there's been a change in that sense. If you said that, because there are local factors or factors which are specific to a particular product group which may reflect in a particular month's production. But if you look at the picture which emerges over a number of months, there is a sense that the overall growth in capital goods has not been of a level which we would like to see. And this is borne out by other figures which we have on investment projects and so on, where there seems to be a slowdown apparent.
Sir, there has been a lot of criticism on the credibility of the data every time there's bad numbers that come out. How would you respond to that criticism, especially on the data collection and the methodology of the construction of IIP?
Look, I have extensively talked about this in a number of earlier interviews. IIP data has its advantages and its disadvantages. Its principal advantage is its timeliness. There is a certain amount of noisiness built into its structure, which is the last year's index. And in last year's fixed base index, which therefore inherently creates certain characteristics in its construction. I think I have repeatedly asked for users to, when they are using these numbers, to use them with a measure of sophistication and not react to individual month numbers as if they reflect a change in direction, but to build into them, look into them for underlying trends, and then try to see what the pattern which is emerging.